All right, so for today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Knipex TubiX 903102 pipe cutter. Now, this guy is coming in at 7 inches in length and is I would say, the medium-sized pipe cutter out of the 3 different pipe cutters that Knipex has out for cutting copper. They have a smaller one, they have this guy right here, and then they have a larger one. I'm not sure how big the larger one is, but I would assume it can do up to 2-inch pipe. Now, this guy right here can do from 1/4-inch pipe all the way up to 1 3/8. Now, I'm not 100% sure if Knipex themselves makes this or if there's another OEM in Germany that Knipex just buys them from in bulk and rebrands them as theirs, and to get them out to the masses or a lot larger market than if they were to just be a small, not really popular German brand. But here is the tubing cutter itself. It's a little bit different than a standard tubing cutter. There is a spring-loaded mechanism in here, so it's kind of like a quick adjust, where you don't have to sit there and spin the handle to get it to the right size that you need. You just press the button and adjust it. There is the scale that the tubing cutter can do. Like I said, it goes from 1/4 all the way up to 1 3/8. So that is 6 to 35 millimeters. You have some screws right on the side of the pipe cutter. I believe you have to take those 4 screws out to change out the reaming tool if need be. We'll take a look at that here in a minute. And then you have a nice blue handle. It's in that nice Knipex colors. Now, while we're talking about the handle, let's see if I can get this cap off. I did just spill the bit there. But if you do need an extra bit, or if you buy 2 bits and you need a place to store one of them, on the inside of the handle, there is a bit, and there is a little bit of a magnetic holder in there, which the bit will rest on. So you do get a little bit of bit storage, and it is nice to see that they did give you an extra bit. And you can buy replacement Knipex bits if you want those. I'm not sure if other bits will work with this, but I know Knipex does sell them on the side and separate from the tool. Now I just got to be able to get this to clip back in to the handle. And now moving on over to this side, you have the model number, and then you have the Knipex name, which is a part of the casting for this side of the tool. And then coming up to the top, like I said, you do have a pipe reamer that does move in and out, and this is a whole piece that you have to buy. So if you do use this pipe reamer quite frequently and it does need to be replaced, you do have to buy this whole piece separately. And I believe, like I said, you just got to take those 4 screws there out on the side, and that whole piece should pop out to replace. But I'm not the biggest fan of pipe cutters that have reamers built into them. I just prefer to have my own reaming tool separate from my pipe cutter. I feel like it's a lot easier to use. But if you needed one, you didn't have one, and you just needed one in a pinch, this guy does have one. And then you do have 4 rollers right there to engage the pipe and make it a lot easier to spin around. And then, like I said, this guy does move back and forth with the push of this button. So you just move it in, and it pretty much adjusts to the size that you need. And then you spin the handle and rotate it around the piece of pipe to cut it. Now, you can push this little locking piece out if you needed to change the cutting disc on there. I can't say that is something I've had to do on any of the current pipe cutters that I own, but then again, I'm not using it every day, day in, day out. So if you do use this tool quite a bit and it gets a lot of traffic, that is something you're probably going to have to do. So if you don't want to have to keep, ordering replacements, you probably want to buy a bunch of them at once and just have them sitting around if this is something you use on a regular basis. But that's pretty much it for the functionality or some of the features on this tool. I guess we'll get to some of the functionality of the tool. So here I just have a piece of copper that was cut from a previous video, and you can see that there is kind of a burr on the inside of it. So I guess the first thing we'll test out here is this deburring tool. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of these that have deburring tools on them, but if you need one, it does seem to work fairly nice, and it does seem to leave somewhat of a nice clean edge on the inside. Now, I could probably go for a little bit longer around, but I don't have all day to do that, so I'm not going to. And then when you're done with that, you just kind of retract it. And now we'll get to the cutting of some pipe. So you just kind of adjust it to the size that you need, and you just go ahead and tighten it down a little bit, and then you just every time I go around, make one full rotation, I tighten the tool down just a little bit more. And eventually you will cut through the pipe, and then you can just auto adjust it back to where you need to go. Did a fairly decent job cutting that copper, and again, if you needed to, for some reason, you need a piece of copper this small, you can easily use that deburring tool on there. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1. You get the pipe cutter and you get the deburring tool, which is nice. So that is, you know, it does a fairly decent job cutting some copper. We'll go ahead and retract that guy. We'll bring in some small copper. I'm not sure if this was 3. I think this is some 3/8 copper, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. So we'll go ahead and put some of that in there, and we'll tighten it down and make a couple rotations around the tool. And like I said, every full rotation, I'll tighten it. Some people do a quarter rotation and they tighten it, but it does do a fairly decent job cutting copper pipe. Now, you do have some grease there on the inside. They do give a generous amount in there. Now, if you use this tool on a daily basis, I'm not sure how well that grease will hold up or how long it will hold up, so that is something you probably are going to want to pay attention to. Like I said, if you use this tool on a daily basis, you might want to add some grease here and there, just so that the tool continues to function nice and smooth. Now, overall, definitely a nice addition to the Knipex lineup, and a nice pipe cutter overall. Definitely could easily recommend this guy if you are looking for a pipe cutter. And with that being said, that's kind of all I have for this video. So as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to leave them down in the comments section below. And if you want to find out some more information about this pipe cutter, I will leave a link down to Knipex's website where you can learn out some more information about this pipe cutter itself. And maybe explore some of the other ones that they have if you're looking for some different sizes. And there will also be some links in the description below if you want to purchase this guy. Now, I believe the only way you can get it, I haven't seen it at any of my local stores, whether it's been a supply house or it's been Home Depot, Lowe's, things like that. I haven't really seen this guy on any of their shelves. I don't think you're going to see it on their shelves, so I really think the only way to get this guy is to order it online. So like I said, I will have some links down in the description below to go ahead and pick this one guy out for yourself if that is what you are looking to add to your lineup. But with that being said, that's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching.